Hi everybody, it's me, Yaya, also known as Yaya, and I'm back. And I'm going to be reading from the Amplified as usual because I feel like it fleshes out the intent and the meaning of the word that much better. And today I'm going to be reading from Leviticus 18. So finally we're getting up to what today might be considered the more controversial part of the Bible. And so the title of this chapter is Laws of Immoral Relations. Okay, chapter 18. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, I am the Lord your God. You shall not do what is done in the land of Egypt, where you lived, and you shall not do what is done in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you. You shall not follow their statutes, practices, customs. You are to follow my judgments, precepts, ordinances, and keep my statutes and live by them. I am the Lord your God. So you shall keep my statutes and my judgments, by which if a person keeps them, he shall live. I am the Lord. No one shall approach any blood relative of his to uncover nakedness or have intimate relations. I am the Lord. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father. That is the nakedness of your mother. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife. It is your father's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your sister, either the daughter of your father or your mother, whether born at home or born elsewhere. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. Their nakedness you shall not uncover, for they are your own nakedness, that is, your own descendants. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, born to your father. She is your sister. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She is your father's blood relative. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's blood relative. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother's wife. You shall not approach his wife. She is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife. It is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, nor shall you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover their nakedness, have intimate relations with them. They are her blood relatives. It is an outrageous offense. You shall not marry a woman in addition to her sister as a rival while she is alive to uncover her nakedness. Okay, so this is interesting because we know that, like when we were back in, Genesis and maybe part of Exodus even, we know that like Abraham, let me see, who was he married? He was married to his half-sister. So by these laws, this is like a huge offense by this time. And who else was married? Who else was married in a situation like that? What's his name? Jacob. Jacob was married to two sisters, and they weren't even half sisters; they were whole sisters. Leah and Rachel, and they were in competition. Which brings to mind, like I think about people who have these, uh, what it, I guess polygamy, these polygamous relationships. Now, no judgment. I know there's a lot of people out there in the world who do that, so I'm not trying to down you. But honestly, I don't get it because I know how I am. I know me. I don't know that I could function in a situation like that properly where I had to share a husband and um, I know there's places in the world where that's what people are used to, and I guess if you grew up in that, it's fine. And matter of fact, we have a close family friend who, for a time, she was in a marriage like that, where I think she had like 5 other wives, and they all got along, and it was a very happy time in her life. So, but I just know me. I don't think I'm built that way. So anyway, yeah. I could see me button heads. I could see that. Anyway, Also, you shall not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness during her menstrual impurity and ceremonial uncleanness. You shall not have intimate relations with your neighbor's wife to be defiled with her. You shall not give any of your children to offer them by fire as a sacrifice to Molech, the god of the Ammonites. Nor shall you profane the name of your God by honoring idols as gods. I am the Lord. You shall not intimately with a male, you shall not lie intimately with a male as one lies with a female. It is repulsive. You shall not have intimate relations with any animal to be defiled with it, nor shall a woman stand before an animal to mate with it. It is a perversion. Okay. So, okay. So that may answer some questions for anyone out there. They're like, well, the Bible doesn't really say that. It is interesting. It hit me yesterday. I thought about that. How, people are saying, oh, the Bible doesn't really say that. And isn't it interesting that when Satan, the serpent, came into the garden, right, and spoke to Eve, right? Not to Adam, but spoke to Eve and said, did God really say that? You know? Isn't that interesting? And so now people are doing the same thing that the serpent did, the devil did. You know? God, oh, the Bible doesn't really say that. But yeah, it does. Okay. So, do not defile yourselves by any of these things, for by all these the nations which I am casting out before you have become defiled. For the land has become defiled, therefore I have brought its punishment upon it, and the land vomits out its inhabitants. But as for you, you are to keep my statutes and my judgments, precepts, and shall not commit any of these repulsive acts. Neither the native born nor the stranger who lives temporarily among you, for all these repulsive acts have been done by the men who lived in the land before you, and the land has become defiled. Do none of these things, so that the land will not vomit you out, should you defile it, and it has vomited out the nation which has been before you. For whoever commits any of these repulsive acts, those persons who do shall be cut off from among their people, excluding them from the atonement made for them. So keep my command. Do not practice any of the repulsive customs which have been practiced before you, so as not to defile yourselves by them. I am the Lord your God. Now it keeps in this chapter, it keeps saying repulsive, repulsive, but I believe in the King James, I think it's abomination. So now I know. So abomination is just simply things that God finds repulsive. You know. Okay, so I'm down here in the footnotes. And so it just says here, Leviticus, Leviticus chapter 18, and it says verses 6 through 18 states incestuous prohibitions. Okay, and 18:6. Let's see, what is it saying about 18:6? No one shall approach any blood relative of his to uncover nakedness, have intimate relations. Okay, and it says the Hebrew euphemism for sexual relations occurs in each verse in the passage. Okay, let's see. The father's nakedness is a reference to his wife in her role as his sexual partner, i.e., the nakedness that belongs to him alone by virtue of their marriage. Otherwise, the literal meaning would refer to intimate relations with the father himself, including homosexuality. The text itself states that this is not the meaning, especially in 2011. The man who lies has uncovered his father's nakedness. So, yeah, okay. Okay, on to Leviticus 19. Okay. Idolatry forbidden. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you shall respect his mother and his father, and you shall keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make for yourselves molten gods, images cast in metal. I am the Lord your God. Now when you offer a sacrifice of peace offerings to the Lord, you shall offer it so that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and on the day following. And if anything remains until the third day, it shall be burned in the fire. But if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is repulsive. It will not be accepted by God as an offering. Everyone who eats it will bear the responsibility for his wickedness, for he has profaned the holy thing of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from his people, excluding him from the atonement made for them. Various laws. Now when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap to the very corners of your field, nor shall you gather the gleanings, grain left after reaping, of your harvest. And you shall not glean your vineyard, nor shall you gather its fallen grapes. You shall leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord your God. So interesting how God, cares about the stranger and the foreigner. People who do not know him and worship other gods probably, and God cares for them, because I remember a book or so back, like back in Exodus, when God is saying to them, treat foreigners well, because you remember you were a foreigner in Egypt and how poorly you were treated. So you understand what it's like to be a stranger in a foreign land. And so just more insight into God's character, you know, and his kindness and his concern and his love for people in general, you know. Okay, let's see, what's this say? Okay, you shall not steal, nor deal deceptively, nor lie to one another. You shall not swear an oath falsely by my name, so as to profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. So, when people say they swear to God, I guess it's wrong for two reasons. Because one of the things that it says in the Ten Commandments, I believe, right, is don't take don't take God's name in vain, right? And we were reading back when we were reading the Ten Commandments back in Exodus, and we looked it up. What does that exactly mean? And it's just simply one of the ways that you take the God's name in vain is to just speak of him lightly, to speak of him without any reverence. Some people always like, oh my, they say OMG, or somebody swears to God. They don't really mean that. They're just saying it because it's something so many people are so used to saying, and we don't realize. We've become so desensitized in this age, that how wrong that is. So may God help me that I am not, saying his name in vain, speaking of him irreverently, or anything like that, in Jesus' name, and those I love too and care about, let's see. Okay, you shall not oppress or exploit your neighbor, nor rob him. You shall not withhold the wages of a hired man overnight until morning. You shall not curse a deaf man, nor put a stumbling block before the blind. But you shall fear your God with profound reverence. I'm the Lord. Wow, I don't ever remember reading that. Like, they even got something for the deaf and the blind, Don't curse at him because he can't hear you, and don't trip him because he can't see you. Like, you would, like any normal person would, well, I don't know, certainly, I could see maybe like cursing out a deaf person who I thought was nasty to me, but now I know God is saying don't do that. And I don't think I would trip a blind person. Anyway, so that's interesting. You shall not do injustice in judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, nor show a preference for the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. You shall not go around as a gossip among your people, and you are not to act against the life of your neighbor with slander or false testimony. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. Ooh, God help us, right? Because he's saying, yeah, you can't even, he's talking about the things that you feel inside, and how you have to be careful about your thoughts even. Okay, you shall not hate your brother in your heart. You may most certainly rebuke your neighbor, but shall not incur sin because of him. So, okay. So it's saying like, you if your brother's dead wrong, you can call him out on it, but be careful in your heart that you're not like really like, was like kind of hating that person. Be careful, because really, are we harming the person by hating them, or are we harming ourselves? Because they may or may not even be aware of how strongly we feel, but it's affecting us, right? You shall not take revenge nor bear any grudge against the sons of your people, but you shall love your neighbor. And by neighbor, and it says in parentheses, acquaintance, associate, companion. So you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Love your neighbor as yourself. Whew. Okay. And don't have a grudge against them. Don't hold a grudge against anybody, which is not always easy, But I guess, but God doesn't ask us to only do the things that are easy, right? Or command us, really. You are to keep my statutes. You shall not breed together two kinds of your cattle. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed, nor wear clothing of two kinds of material mixed together. Now, if a man has intimate relations with a woman who is a slave acquired for marriage to another man, okay, but who has not been redeemed nor given her freedom, there shall be punishment after an investigation. They shall not put to death. They shall not be put to death because she was not free. But he shall bring his guilt offering to the Lord to the doorway of the tent of meeting, a ram as a guilt offering. The priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before the Lord for his sin which he has committed, and he shall be forgiven of his sin. Interesting. Okay, I gotta pause this. I'm so sorry. Okay, hi, I'm back. Okay, so continuing in, where are we? We are in chapter, what chapter is this?
Mama.
Hold on, Noah.
Mommy.
We're in chapter 19. When you enter the land and plant all kinds of trees for food, then you shall consider their fruit forbidden. For 3 years the fruit shall be forbidden to you. It shall not be eaten. In the 4th year all the fruit shall be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. In the 5th year you may eat the fruit of the trees. This is so that their yield may increase for you. I am the Lord your God. You shall not eat anything with the blood, nor sacrifice, nor practice divination, in brackets using omens or witchcraft or soothsaying. You shall not trim and round off the side growth of the hair on your heads. You shall not trim or round off the side growth of the hair on your heads, nor mar the edges of your beard. Oh, hold on. Now that's interesting. Because if you've ever seen Orthodox Jewish men, a lot of times they have those like curls on the side of their head. So I guess that's what they're talking about. And I believe they always have beards, right? So they don't cut those beards. And then it says here, you shall not make any cuts on your body in mourning for the dead, nor make any tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. Okay, so that's interesting because I've heard some controversy about that. A lot of people today have tattoos. I don't. It's never been my thing. Just never has. And I just kind of feel like, like I said earlier, I feel like my body is my art. And I feel like the way God made me is just wonderful. So why on earth am I going to scribble on myself or cover up myself with whatever? God made was perfect. In Jesus' name. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. I never was into that, and I'm glad that I never was, because now that I'm older, yeah, who needs that? I'm glad I didn't.
You can put it in a place where no one would see it.
Yeah, but I don't want a tattoo anywhere. I like the way God made me. How about that?
I might get a tiny one when I'm older.
She's 9. Don't listen to her.
I said when I'm older.
And you are beautiful.
And I said maybe.
And you're beautiful and perfect too. Don't put that mess on yourself. You're beautiful and you're perfect. Don't.
Maya
You
got
know,
one.
that's like, you know what? Well, that's Maya. That's
Maya
her.
got a very pretty one too.
Oh, good for her. But I'm just saying,
You saw it.
if you're already a Picasso or a Mona Lisa, you know, or a Da Vinci, if you're already that, why are you going to put something on there, cover it up, and mar it with that? Even if it's a very beautiful tattoo. That's not my thing.
Shoulder.
It's not my thing.
There's nothing so beautiful about her shoulder.
Okay. Yes, it is. Now hush. I'm doing something. Okay, that's me. So where was I? Okay, so this is a bit of controversy because, like I said, so many people have tattoos, and there is this famous woman preacher on TV, Dr. Joyce Myers, right? And she said, she was quoting this, and she said, "You shall not make any cuts on your body in mourning for the dead, nor any tattoo marks on yourself in mourning for the dead." And I was watching someone on YouTube, and they said that's not what it says. And you know what? At least from this version of the Bible that I'm reading, I have to agree with that person. She totally misquoted it from reading the Amplified version. It only says no cuts in your body for mourning in the dead, which means I guess earrings are still fine. And then it says no tattoo marks, and it says nothing about mourning for the dead when it says tattoo marks. So that's interesting. It sounds like that person was right. She misquoted.
I'm a genie.
That's right.
I'm the genie from Aladdin. Look.
I see.
I got my
I see.
beard.
Okay, guys. Okay, so do not profane your daughter by making her a prostitute, so that the land will not fall to prostitution, become full of wickedness.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're young. I'll tell you later. You shall keep my Sabbaths and revere my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not turn to mediums who pretend to consult the dead, or to spiritists who have spirits of divination. Do not seek them out to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. You shall not rise before the gray-headed and honor the aged. And you shall, sorry about that. You shall rise before the gray-headed and honor the aged. And you shall fear your God with profound reverence. I'm the Lord. Now, that's something I try to be respectful of older folks. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I try to always be respectful of older people because I do remember reading in the Bible where it states that. So it's not just a matter, honor thy mother and thy father so that thy days may be long upon the earth, which it does say in the Ten Commandments. But also here in Leviticus 19, verse 32, it's telling you to honor just old folks in general, you know. Okay.
That makes sense.
Amen, Holly. So you shall rise before the gray-headed and honor the aged, and you shall fear your God with profound reverence. I am the Lord. Amen. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not oppress or mistreat him, but the stranger who resides with you shall be to you like someone native born among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. You shall do no wrong in judgment.
Isn't that Chloe's bus?
Where?
You're too long.
No. Okay. You shall do no wrong in judgment, in measurement of weight or quantity. You shall have just and accurate balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You shall observe and keep all my statutes and all my ordinances, and do them. I am the Lord.
I want to drink from it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back, guys. Okay, so I'm down here in the footnotes, and it's, let's see. Okay, so Leviticus 19:3.
Why are you
Each of you shall respect his mother and his father, and you shall keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord. Okay? It's Leviticus 19:3. And it says down here, literally, it's fear. So they use respect in the Amplified, but it says literally down here in the footnotes, fear. The Hebrew can refer to respect or reverence as essentially healthy forms of fear. And I think we've all, heard that, fear of the Lord. A lot of us who are, certainly if you're American born, you probably heard that. And then let's see, 1923. Okay.
What happened in 1923?
When you enter the land and plant all kinds of trees for food, then you shall consider their fruit forbidden. Okay. And the word actually is uncircumcised, because remember, to be uncircumcised in Hebrew culture is you could be cut off from your people if you weren't circumcised. And if you recall, we were reading through, what was it, Exodus, and there was an issue with Moses that hadn't circumcised his son yet. And it says something about Moses, or somebody started to get real sick, and his wife went and circumcised the boy, and I think she threw the foreskin at him, and then whatever sickness it was left them. So that was interesting. And then down here, 1936.
What happened in
Okay.
1936?
You shall have just and accurate balances, just weights, a just ephah and a just hin. And it's saying that a hin is approximately 1 gallon. Okay. So it's leaking. Well, it must be something wrong. It's not, because that's a good water bottle, so it must not be on right. Okay. Let's see. Can I go one more chapter? Okay, I'm going to try for one more chapter. Okay, so chapter 20 on human sacrifice and immoralities. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Moreover, you shall say to the children of Israel, any Israelite or any stranger residing in Israel who gives any of his children to Molech, the god of the Ammonites, in brackets, as a human sacrifice, shall most certainly be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I will also set my face against that man, in brackets, opposing him, withdrawing my protection from him. Wow, that's a horrible thing. That not, from God to withdraw his protection from you, his covering, is a horrible thing, And then not only that, God says he's going to oppose him. Wow. Yeah. And then it says, and will cut him off from his people, in brackets, excluding him from the atonement made for them, because he has given some of his children to Molech, so as to defile my sanctuary. Molech is the god of the Ammonites, and it was a practice that the Ammonites used to do, where they would sacrifice their children in fire to the false god Molech.
Why?
Because I guess they thought that he was going to bless them. Is this okay.
Hi. I'm back. I took the recording device. So I just got off the bus. Subscribe to subscribe to Smartphone Fam if you want to see me. So I just getting buckled into the car now.
It's not coming up, it's dry. It's not going to get on your clothes. Go sit down.
I went on a field trip today.
Go sit down. Sit down, please.
I got a cool straw.
Come on, have a seat.
This matches one of my shirts actually. It has the same exact color.
Thank you, Chloe.
Bye.
So, if the people of the land should ever tolerate that man when he gives any of his children as a burnt offering to Molech, and fail to put him to death, as my law requires, then I shall set my face against that man and against his extended family, and I will cut off from their people both him and all who follow him in playing the prostitute, in parentheses, commit apostasy with Molech. As for the person who turns to mediums, in brackets, consult the dead, or to spiritists, to play the prostitute after them, I shall set my face against that person and will cut him off from his people, in brackets, excluding him from the atonement made for them. You shall consecrate yourselves therefore and be holy, for I am the Lord your God. You shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord who sanctifies you. If anyone curses his father or mother, he shall most certainly be put to death. He has cursed his father or mother. His blood is on him. In brackets, that is, he bears full responsibility for the consequences.
I'm gonna start driving now.
Oh, give me a few minutes. Give me a few minutes, baby. Give me a few minutes. This is the last one. Last chapter. Then the man who commits adultery with another's wife, even his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall most certainly be put to death. The man who lies intimately with his father's wife has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall most certainly be put to death. Their blood is on them. If a man lies intimately with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall most certainly be put to death. They have committed incest. Their blood is on them. If a man lies intimately with a male as if he were a woman, both men have committed a detestable, perverse, unnatural act. They shall most certainly be put to death. Their blood is on them. It is immoral and shameful if a man marries a woman and her mother. All three shall be burned in fire, so that there will be no immorality among you. If a man has intimate relations with an animal, he shall most certainly be put to death. You shall kill the animal also. If a woman approaches an animal to mate with it, you shall kill the woman and the animal. They shall most certainly be put to death. Their blood is on them. If a man takes his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, so that he sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a disgrace. They shall be cut off in the sight of the sons of their people.
Did I just say
In brackets, excluding them from the atonement made for them. You shall not uncover the nakedness of, in parentheses, have intimate relations with your mother's sister or your father's sister, for such a one has uncovered his blood relative. They will bear their guilt. If there is a man who lies intimately with his uncle's wife, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They will bear their sin. They will die childless. If a man takes his brother's wife, it is a hated and unclean thing. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They will be childless.
Just like in the story of John the Baptist.
Yeah, that's right. You know that? Okay. That's right. So, yeah, so that's interesting because earlier, what's up, baby?
You are not allowed to take the water right.
That's right. You're not allowed to do that.
The girl who, the wife.
How dare he tell her that she was being trifling and nasty?
He
Yeah, he said it.
He embarrassed me.
Yeah,
Cut off his head.
yeah, because she was being trifling and nasty. She was trifling. Okay, anyway.
Oh well. Guess I gotta kill him.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay. But and it's interesting, like earlier in the Bible, right? We were reading about who was it? It was one of Jacob's sons. One of Jacob's sons. I don't remember if it was Judah or was it Reuben? I think it was Judah, right? Who he had some sons, and one, they were wicked. So one would die, and the wife was a widow, right? But she never had any kids, right? And so it was the custom, and I believe God had told them, okay, so the next brother has to, create a child with her, so that his name won't die out. But they didn't really want to do that because they knew it wasn't going to be technically their child, And so they never had a kid with her, and God killed the next one, right? So that was the thing back then.
Murder.
So I'm not sure if this still applies. They're saying, well,
So God murders people?
oh yeah, sometimes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just reading that yesterday.
So he's a murderer?
Well, actually, okay. Well, maybe more so to kill, because murder is slightly different than kill. When you murder someone, that is to kill someone unlawfully without any reason. It's not in self-defense. It's not in defense of somebody else. It's not because, they're being killed because they killed another person, It's just unlawful.
This dude's like, he was mean. This 30-year-old man. I recognize that dude. He bullied me in pre-K. I'm gonna murder him now.
Yeah, that would be unlawful. So that would just be murder. That wouldn't be killing.
I'm
I believe
gonna
I'm
murder
right
him
on
now.
that about the difference between murder and killing. I believe so.
Killing.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, killing. Oh my gosh, I recognize that dude. He in high school, in high school, he stabbed my mom.
Well,
I'm gonna
yeah,
kill him
that's well. Actually, no, because the Bible does actually say that, like, if somebody kills someone unlawfully, so if they murder someone, they are supposed to, pay with their life.
He
Yeah.
stabbed. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I recognize that dude. He stabbed my mom in the stomach in high school. I'm gonna kill him.
Oh, Holly, hush.
I'm talking about you as just an example.
Yes, an example. Okay, let me finish this so we can get going.
And thank goodness the mom that was in that fake story is still alive.
Yes, baby. Yes. Okay, where was I?
You're reading the Bible.
Okay. If a man takes his brother's wife, it is a hated and unclean thing. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They will be childless. Therefore, keep all my statutes and all my ordinances and do them, so that the land where I am bringing you to live may not vomit you out, as it did those before you. You shall not follow the statutes, in parentheses, laws, practices, customs of the nation which I am driving out before you. For they did all these things, and therefore I have loathed them. Wow, I don't want to ever be loathed by God.
I don't know what that means.
Loathe?
Yeah.
Like, if you loathe somebody, that is like deep hatred. I mean, that's like another level of hatred if you loathe somebody. I'm pretty sure that's the meaning of that. Wow, that's saying something there.
I hate your guts.
Yeah, but on a whole nother level.
I will kill your mom.
Holly, hush. Anyway, but I have said to you, you are to inherit and take possession of their land. And I will give it to you to possess, a land of plenty, flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has separated you from the peoples, parentheses, pagan nations. You are therefore to make a distinction between the ceremonially clean animal and the unclean, and between the unclean bird and the clean. And you shall not make yourselves detestable by animal, or by bird, or by anything that crawls on the ground, which I have set apart from you as unclean. You are to be holy to me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have set you apart from the peoples, in parentheses, nations, to be mine. A man or woman who is a medium, in brackets it says, who pretends to consult the dead, or who is a spiritist, shall most certainly be put to death, and be stoned with stones. Their blood is on them. Okay, so I'm down here in the footnotes.
Why are you
20.
drawing notes on your foot?
No, footnotes. Those are just the notes at the bottom of the page.
I know.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Then I shall set my face against that man and against his extended family, and I will cut off from their people both him and all who follow him in playing the prostitute, in parentheses, commit apostasy with Molech. So down here it says abandon the true God. So apostasy means to abandon the true God for an idol. Okay. Leviticus 20:24. Okay. Okay. So we just read from Leviticus 18 through Leviticus 20, and that was interesting. So hopefully that clarifies a lot of stuff for you. You know, you may have never read the Bible, or you read some parts of it, once, and but now you know exactly what the Bible does say about what kind of intimate relations people are allowed to have, with who they're allowed to be with.
I thought you were going to do things about relationships for Valentine's Day.
Well, that's different, and I think that's a good idea. I think I might do like Song of Solomon or something for that.
Okay.
But and you learned about like is it okay to, I guess when they say cuts in your body, then I guess Is it okay to have earrings? I guess so far it's okay. So far as what I've read.
I don't wear earrings anymore. I need to get some new earrings.
Yeah, before they close up, right?
No, my earrings broke.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get new ones now.
And but it's very clear. It's very clear in the Bible, and nothing against anybody who's already gotten a tattoo. You know, you're not responsible for the things that you've done, and you really didn't know that it was against the Bible. You're not clearly not responsible for that, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and
Like,
even if that's something.
If you are and you didn't even know, then
Yeah.
there's something wrong with the Bible. Like, it's not their fault.
Yeah, no, yeah. But yes, or maybe you did kind of know, but now you know you're listening to this and you're coming back to God, you know, coming back in deeper relationship with God, and you're like, okay, well, you know, maybe that's not something I should do. Now, mind you, everything that's in the Old Testament is not necessarily in the New Testament. I was just listening to this YouTube this morning, and somebody said, oh, well, the Bible says you can't eat pork. You know,
can't eat pork.
right? But in the Old Testament, it does say that.
That's
But this person who, praise God for this person, they were so right on. They knew their word, and they were like, well, actually, in the New Testament, those laws no longer apply. He was saying it's just, you know, the moral laws still apply, but in terms of what you can and can't eat, that's, you know, or mixing threads in your clothes, that stuff is no longer applies in the New Testament. So can you be a Christian and tattoo today? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I'm not 100. But so far in the Old Testament, it does say that you're not supposed to get tattoos. You know, and
We gotta dig deeper. We will find that out next episode.
Well, not next episode, because we're still in Exodus. We got to get all the way through the Old Testament before we can get to the New Testament.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we got to. I'm gonna do it in order, so it's easier for people to follow. Hey, what?
I said okay.
Oh, okay. Anyway, God bless you.
Bye.
And you know, if you're watching, I thank you for watching. God bless you. Holly. Okay, you want to come up in the screen? Holly, you can come up in the screen. You can come up in the screen. What?
Say hi. That's
What?
no one, not me. Hi. Bye. See you next video. If I come.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
God bless y'all. And I look forward to you being in my Bible study tomorrow. Chloe, you there back there? There you go. I look forward to y'all being in my Bible study tomorrow. God bless you.